Cornucopias is a cutting-edge open-world MMO set in a world where humanity has ascended from the Earth's surface and created a breathtaking new world in the sky. This fantastical realm is a system of floating islands carved from the land we once called home, now encased in radically advanced dome-shaped structures suspended high above the clouds. Each one is a futuristic marvel with its own unique environment, identity, and thriving communities. It is within these domes the epic journey begins. Here, players take control of their own personal avatar, which gives them the freedom to choose their destiny. Be immersed in vast landscapes, explore vibrant settlements, and engage in a myriad of activities such as crafting, commerce, combat, racing, and more. Welcome to a world where the sky is no longer the limit.
Hey everybody, welcome to COPICafe. This is episode 116. And it's really good to be here. Happy New Year, first of all.
Happy New Year.
It's 2025. And this is our first episode of COPICafe of a new year. And it's a big year, a huge year. It's the year of the corn, isn't it?
It is
Always.
the year of the corn.
It's the year of the corn. Hashtag year of the corn. We're excited. There's a ton to be released this year. There's, we've laid an excellent foundation and the teams are executing well. And there's just a lot, but it feels a bit overwhelming. We're in the middle of planning. Before we get into all that though, let's go ahead and talk about what we have this episode. We're going to talk about the planning coming up. So we're going to talk a little about the Nvidia Cards. We've got more team members coming on, 5.5, Unreal Engine 5.5 upgrade, the planning that we're doing, gameplay tournaments, marketing, centralized exchanges, and we've got a leak for you and some questions if we have time for the questions. Depends on how long this gets with Rob and I. But, okay, we'll just go ahead and kick it off. Rob, what are you drinking? For the first drink of the new year, what is your choice?
Oh. Yeah, something very, not so healthy. Coca-Cola.
Kicking it off with health.
Yeah. What are you drinking, Josh?
Well, let's see if you can guess it.
Is it tea?
Specific. I need specifics.
You call them iced tea. No?
It is that as well. It's a green tea.
Oh dear.
Thankfully, It's not green.
Didn't look very green.
All right. Well, the reason we do drinks every episode for anyone that's not watching is because we wanted to keep this something that Rob and I can execute on every single week. And for the most part, we do that. We miss a few weeks out of the year, like holidays or special exceptions or occasions, whatever. But for the most part, we do an episode a week and we do drinks to keep it light. It's called COPICafe because we don't want to have to pre-produce this show for an hour and a half and take up a ton of team time when we have a million things to do. And I think it's worked out well for us. It's been the right choice. So I appreciate your drink of choice today, Rob, and cheers. Let's get this thing kicked off.
Yeah. Episode 116. So we must be doing something right to keep it regular.
We're staying, we're staying consistent as best we can. I forgot the main point of that. The main point of that is that we are communicating transparently with you guys, our community, on a regular basis, and we're getting to know each other. You guys are getting to know us really well, and we get to know you guys well when we see you at the conferences and in the community in our Discord. If you haven't yet, and you're watching this, please join our Discord. That's where our community can really keep you up to date with what's going on in Cornucopias, and definitely be sure to like and subscribe to these videos, because that helps us. We're not building up ad revenue from this or anything, but we really do want to get the game out to as many people as possible this year. So, all right. First topic, Nvidia cards. Rob, you want to lead that off?
Yes. So Nvidia, they announced their new cards earlier in the year, and then last week they had their big conference where they went through them, and it looks really, really exciting. Obviously our game requires a graphics card. Mm-hmm. So these are the next generation, the 5th generation. They call them the 50 series. There'll be the 5060, the 5070, 5080, and the flagship 5090. All of those are compatible with our game. All of those 50 series actually meet our minimum requirements. So every card they produce from now on is going to meet our minimum spec. But that doesn't mean to say any of the old graphics cards are out of date. We still support the 40s and the 30s and the 20s. However, what the 50s does now is it's pretty clear that Nvidia are moving into the AI area. I mean, they've always been heavy into that, but they're really tripling down on it now. So they've put tons and tons of effort into the AI processing on these chips, and you will actually see that with the new DLSS that's coming out.
Right?
Yes, I actually have a slide. We start the year with a slide to go through that actually.
And there's actually more on AI that I'll bring up here shortly as well. But that Nvidia is doing. But yeah, you go with this first.
Yeah, definitely. But as a foundation, what DLSS is a way of artificially creating different frames and improving the performance of the game. These are drivers that are written specifically for individual cards, and a lot of them are backwards compatible. So we're currently working on DLSS integration for 3.5, and we will also be working on DLSS 4 now as well, because this will also have enhancements for existing 40 cards. But what we're seeing here, what the major announcement with DLSS 4, on paper, we'd have to see what they come out with the actual numbers, but they look really, really good. These graphics cards have more VRAM in them. They have more of the underlying chips and processing power. But new in this, which is exclusive to the 50 series, is that multi-frame generation, and it's some crazy science. What this does is, normally when you're drawing a game, if you're on like 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second, it's literally generating those 120 frames per second. And what this does, multi-generation, is it actually figures out the next 3 artificially. So it draws a frame, and then it kind of cleverly guesses what the next 3 are on the top level, and then draws another frame. And so what it means is that you get more, in effect, more frame rates per second. And we're seeing that with some of the numbers. There's a where this works really, really well is if you're playing kind of like non-competitive games, maybe AAA games, where you want the top frames per second, but because it's kind of making up some frames in between. If you're in a really competitive game, a shooter, sometimes some of these affect kind of like the performance in between. But they're working really hard with other techniques that they have on the cards as well. I'm not want to go into too much of the details, but yeah, this is really, really good technology. It'll be amazing if anybody ends up with a 50 card and plays Cornucopias when we have that compatible. You can lower it. You can generate maybe the one frame, which is the one lower down, which is compatible with the 40 series. Um, it's heavily based around ray tracing. Again, another buzzword that if you don't know what that is, that I mean that's definitely something that we concentrate heavily on. Our game uses ray tracing. That's the nanite and the lighting, all those we use that as opposed to using the raster technology, which is pretty clear now that Nvidia I think are phasing that kind out. But I don't want to go too technical. All I can say is this is something that you can turn on or off. If you have it off, your game will run at a certain level. If you turn it on, the AI potentially can improve the performance and even the look and feel of your game quite massively. So it is really amazing technology, and these cards, it does a couple of things. It means that some of the older cards now, because they're a generation behind, become more affordable. So if you were thinking about getting maybe a 4080, which I currently run, these now might drop down quite a bit in price. I don't know. I'm just speculating there. As the 5080s and 5090s come out, and the 4080 is an amazing graphics card for playing our game and for playing other games. So
Yeah, so I think the main thing here is that it's something that we're trying to use to improve the gaming experience, but also with the speed of technology improvement with Nvidia. Very soon, it's going to be cheap to get those newer cards that all qualify. So we're not very far off from having a much better experience for a lot of people as these cards like the 3060 get significantly cheaper with every new release. Then it's easier for people to upgrade and get into Cornucopias as well. Another thing that NVIDIA is doing is, we need to move on to the next topic. Another thing NVIDIA is doing is they're coming out with the ACE technology, AI technology, and we're looking into that. But as you guys know, we've been looking at AI for quite a while. I think I talked about this 2 freaking years ago, or a year and a half ago at least, which was our desire to have AI powered NPCs, meaning the NPCs are powered by an LLM that is trained on the Cornucopias lore and a specific personality for that particular agent. And now all of a sudden, we have these AI agent services coming out. It's exploding. It's a hot topic. Well, we're still looking forward to pursuing that. We're researching it, looking for the best solution. So that is a big task for us this year that we really want to come through on. And NVIDIA ACE, the new ACE program, is potentially helpful towards that. We got to look into it a little further. There's a lot of potential on where and how we can use it. And we may just go and use it on our own as well. So there's options. That's why it's important to research it, because we want to come up with the right long-term solution. But yeah, eventually AI powered NPC NFTs. We've said it long ago, but that's definitely something we want to have, where you guys can buy a robot NFT to help you do your farming, and you can actually talk to it. Or you can visit an NPC in the game, go up to him and ask him, what can I do in Cornucopias? Or can you give me a quest? Or whatever it may be. So lots of fun stuff like that to come. That's all I wanted to say on the NVIDIA topic, because we've got a lot of gameplay, tournaments, marketing stuff to talk about later. But on the tech side of things, we're upgrading to Unreal Engine 5.5. We're in the middle of that.
Yeah, the quarantine doesn't stop. So as the day after we released our build for just before Christmas, we upgraded the project to Unreal Engine 5.5. It's currently at 5.3, and we are working through everything that breaks, because that's what happens. You upgrade the engine and things break.
A mountain of things break.
Yeah, and absolutely. So at this stage, progress has been very good, but we can't 100% say we're going to have 5.5 for the next release.
It looks very hopeful.
It's looking very, very good. Yeah. And we have a huge pipeline of work. We're currently going through the planning phase of the year. And so we have a whole pipeline of work. Some of it does rely on 5.5 because 5.5 opens up a lot of opportunities for us, like you say, in the AI world. We can speculate on some of the advantages that it will give us. That doesn't mean to say they're going to be in the next build, but it does mean to say if we get 5.5, this is what 5.5 offers to us. And I think one of the biggest things that it offers us, which is really why we want to jump on this as soon as we can, is because of the new motion matching that comes with Unreal Engine 5. So what that means is that we can take advantage of AI again to build some of our animations, so our characters' movements will be a lot smoother. Currently, the animations that you're seeing, we built them all ourselves. They have between 16 and 20 different frames, depending on the locomotion, whether you're walking, running, going left, all those kind of things. So those are all hand built. So being able to do them using AI, so instead of having maybe 8 or 16 animations every time you do something, that could be 50 or 60, making everything really smooth. And what motion matching does is that the current version, that comes with over 600 different animations out of the box that you can plumb in, and it will transition from one to another, so that the character's movement will be absolutely transformed. And we know that that's one of the first things that people see and they comment on.
Yeah, it comes with like 600 out of the box animations, but then AI to help you.
Yeah, and then
create,
we can start adding.
If you've got something else that you want to animate, which I already do have one thing that I've been asking David about if we could do. We discussed it the other day, but I can't really announce that right now. It's not a huge thing, but it would change the way you fly around a little bit and make significant improvements there. But it's exciting for us.
That's absolutely huge for us. And the other headline is to do with the mega lighting. Now, everything you do in game, you might not notice the lighting, but you'll notice the lighting if it's wrong.
And something like that. It sounded like from what you were talking about with the Nvidia cards would be further augmented by the ray tracing and lighting with the new Nvidia cards as well. So
everything you kind of do in gaming is there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and so for example, going through Toledo City, there'll be about 200 different lights that are all over the place. Some of them are kind of street lights, which is fine, but other is kind of mimicking natural light where as it comes through and bouncing off. So at certain spots we will have lights, and there'll be over 200 different lights that are placed in there at the moment. And every time you put an asset in the game, it has to draw.
Yeah, it's like if you look at David's view or one of our game programmers' views, you see all these objects around that it looks a lot messier from the development mode. With the arrows and you're learning more about that now too. But like you see all of these assets or objects or actors around that may not be in the final viewpoint because that's setting up our lighting system, which is pretty cool. Okay.
And what mega lighting does is it means we need fewer of those. Maybe sometimes we only need one, and it will do a massive area, and it will bounce the lighting off. So Epic of concentrating
makes things more efficient.
But we can talk about more and more of the features that we can use with 5.5 if we get that final go ahead.
It's actually a big deal for us to be able to continue to upgrade as we can with what Unreal Engine is doing. But man, it is a large undertaking. I mean, David sent me, they're going frame by frame on hundreds of different frames that have been impacted to resolve some of these issues. And it's a challenge. So it will be, and it will just get more and more challenging the bigger our game gets and the bigger the releases get. But we want to do our best to keep up, because obviously, like what you said, the motion matching is a critical improvement that we
That's the
want to
big,
stick
yeah,
with.
and we, we wanted to work on this in December, but obviously we wanted to put the build through. It's all catch-22 because you literally have to down tools in certain areas. Other
Yep.
parts of the game can carry on, but some parts just have to concentrate fully on fixing those issues. But
Hmm.
if we do get out, the next release hopefully will be version 5.5.1,
Yeah,
and
and for any of you watching,
yeah.
the the version that we're working on, it's separate than the actual game that you can play right now. So nothing
Mhm.
has been impacted with what you can get in and play. And right now you can easily go play our game. Go to cornucopias.io and click on the play button, and you can get going pretty easily. So if you're new, please go check that out. Join our Discord, and they'll show you in our Discord what you can do inside the game. I think that's going to be a lot of fun for you. So let's move on to the next. We've got the devs. We've got new devs coming on board. One
Mhm.
of our goals for this year, huge goal, which we'll talk more about in the planning section of this episode, but it's to add a lot more gameplay. And we found a programmer that we'll be bringing on likely within the next 2 weeks. But programmers is where we need to add, another 3 to 6 over the first 6 months of 2025,
Yep.
because you can't go too fast. But the point of that is taking all of this space that we have in Cornucopias. It's a huge realm to explore. 3 different solaces, 8 kilometers in diameter, and Toledo Valley, 8 kilometers in diameter, and soon launching Esperanza, another 3, and then Fortune possibly later in the year. That's a massive, massive amount of real estate to explore. Well, we've got to flesh that out with all sorts of things you can do. And that's the cool thing about that is the art side is more challenging. The programming side will be exponentially increasing the pace of new things that we bring to the table. So maybe that just gets us into the planning session
Yeah, I think,
section.
if I was to sum it up, what we want to achieve this year, I could probably sum it up in an acronym game. It would be gameplay, 100% gameplay, masses of gameplay, animations that'll be AI. So the A will probably stand for AI or animations. We will have marketing for the M, tons and tons of marketing. Now we have gameplay and we're going to have visuals, and the E will be engagement. Onboarding players. So we're going
Yep,
out. It's all about the game this year.
it's good. Nice acronym you came up
I
with
made
real
that up
quick.
about 10 minutes ago.
Hmm? You what?
I just made it up about 10 minutes ago. It's quite funny.
So the E's not for eviction. We
Eviction. I hope not.
evicting people from their properties. No, just kidding. That's
No,
not going to
no, that's
happen. But
no. You got to
land
get
is
the
a
properties
huge,
first.
yeah, land is a huge part of what we're doing, and hopefully, if you have some land, you can go into our website, or if you can create an account, you can go in and look at all the different land properties now. That was a huge new release that came out in the last over Christmas as well, and that land selection tool is a lot of fun. We want to see you guys getting in there, sharing what you find. You don't have to share your favorite properties because we know you want to grab those in the land claim. But let's get this out there so that we get more people and create more demand for this land that we've already sold. You can pick it up on secondary, but get in there and see what you can do with the land map selection tool, because that's also going to be where you can favorite your properties and figure out what to do with your NFT when the time comes, and select that property in the land grab, which is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so gameplay. Let's go back to your gameplay, the gameplay topic there. We have a lot to do there. So anything in over the entire year, we're talking about crafting, we're talking about fishing, mining, combat, all of these different things that we need to execute on. Is there anything that you would want to add there? Questing as well.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the first things that heavily want to work on and expand, and definitely use AI to help us with this, is the questing. We don't just MMOs. They're all about questing and economy, in game economy. and players, the community are working together. But in terms of quests, we don't just want. I mean, we'll have basic quests like go and gather so many items, but we don't want too many of those. We want to concentrate on really rich, rich quests that take you around our massive world, but also have you interacting with NPCs, AI NPCs as well, giving you rewards, but giving you fulfilling quests. Some of them might only last 15 minutes, some of them may last days, some are a good hour and a half, but challenging ones as well, puzzling ones where you have to go through multiple stages and you can come back, some that you can only get to when you're at a certain level where you've achieved other things in the past. But I think having really rich quests that unfold the lore and have progression for your character and progression probably for your districts as well and for the game, and we can do those over different seasons. For me, that is one of the areas that we're going to spend an awful lot of time perfecting those. If we end up creating even just one really rich quest per week, because they will take a lot of time and effort, and we have to get some people in to plan those, over a year. That could be over 50 really rich, engrossing, and then next year there'll be another 50, and we'll see how we go, and we will get absolutely tons of feedback off the
And
community.
yeah, and we have to, for something like that we need to have, hundreds, thousands, whatever of AI does help with crafting that.
Yeah, the smaller quests.
Using
Yeah,
a template.
I'm talking about the massive ones. But yeah,
Yeah, the
we'll have more
massive
than
quests.
50 quests.
But the main thing there is with anything, we have to look at how to do it efficiently and how we can make it scale.
Yeah.
Without being too much of a bottleneck to the team, because they're also trying to execute on crafting, on combat. Those are two big things, and crafting includes the building kit to be able to build up on your property and things like that as well. So that's a major
Your
focus
building will be
for the
huge this
year.
year.
Yeah, so we really want to equip with the right programmers to focus in specialized areas to really bring Cornucopias to life. And when I say that, I think about the animals that are going to start to be seen around Cornucopias
Yeah,
relatively soon as
animals can
well.
go. Yeah, animals do so much in an MMO.
Yeah,
We've been working on quite a number of prototypes over the last year or so. So it's just a kind of waiting for all these pieces of the game to come together. So just before Christmas, that last release, you saw gathering in there, you saw interactions with vending machines, we saw trading,
yep,
we saw other things under the hood that we needed to put in place. So we've got some really major foundational systems in place, although to the players you can't see that yet, but you'll start seeing them over the next few releases, and I think gameplay will come really really fast now. We're getting more developers on board, and we have, we're at this time now where we know what we want to deliver. It's just a case of finding the right order, fitting them
yep,
together.
completely agree. It's going to be an exciting year.
Amazing.
I'm really pumped, but it is also going to be one of those years. Like, it feels like every year is like this, where there's so much we have to accomplish, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm really trying to, and especially with where crypto's at in the market cycle, it is definitely a year to really capitalize and move things in the right direction, um, because it's such a great opportunity. So everybody's prepared to work and kind of bleed out their eyes, so to speak, with really working as hard, like grind and hit. Let's hit the ground running, and at the same time, I have this voice in my ear going, well, wisdom says pace yourselves and keep the team energetic for the long haul
Mhm.
as well. And so we have to be conscious of our team members and how they're doing. But sometimes I can't even get David to stop. Like, he didn't sleep last night because he wanted to really work through all these Unreal Engine 5.5 details. But so there's only so much you could do there, but with some team members, they get passionate and they're just going to run. At the same time, we need to run, and we also need to keep the ability to run for the long haul, because this is a long build for us. We got a long way to go.
Yeah. So this next release, I think, is very, very important. But we're we're currently figuring out though whether we're going to have a release in February or whether we're going to split that into, maybe make that longer, and we might move that to March and get some more features in.
Well,
And it
by
also
long
depends
build, I was kind of referring to the vision
for the
cornucopias,
entire year. Yeah,
being 10 years. We'll be working on this for the next 5-10 years
yeah,
because we love it and whatever. But yes, you're right. We are kind of considering how we're going to do the next build, literal build.
yeah.
So I kind of miscommunicated a little bit there,
No,
but
but I mean we're at pre-alpha, so one huge goal for this year is to see if we can get to alpha by the end of the
yeah,
year. And
that's
to
a
get to
massive.
alpha, we have to have a lot of these gameplay systems in place.
Yes, we need to feel like getting to alpha also means a major marketing push
Hmm.
and opening the door to mainstream gamers. And so obviously that needs to be as buttoned up as possible, because mainstream gamer criteria is significantly higher than Web3 gaming, because Web3 gaming is so early that expectations are lower. But the mainstream gamers, they're playing all of these games that are tied to billion-dollar studios,
Yeah,
and we need to be at the level where we're okay with their response so that it grows by word of mouth, because the influencers get in and play it. The mainstream influencers get in and play it, and they're like, wow, this is the next game. This is it, you know? And that's the kind of thing that we ideally are shooting for. We'll see how it goes, but
yeah. They
okay.
might be distracted with GTA 6 this year, which is fine. By the time our alpha comes out, they'll be bored of that.
Yeah, wasn't there somebody that said that Web3 gaming is dead because there's a new mainstream gaming coming out?
Yeah,
Sorry, guys. Web3 gaming is not dead because of a new mainstream game. The the simple fact is this, and I want to respond to that because I saw something like this on Twitter. The demand in the secondary market for gaming NFTs is in the billions. That means people have bought billions of dollars worth of game NFTs already in Web3. Okay, so what does that say? There is a demand for owning your player owned assets. There's a demand for owning it, not buying it in the game and then never being able to resell it, unless you go to a black market or a gray market. Now, let's talk about black market and gray market sales. Those are also in the billions. When people play a mainstream game that doesn't utilize NFTs, sorry, you sent me on a rant here with this
it's
one,
fine.
but black market and gray market sales are also in the billions. That says that players of games demand to own their assets, that they put their money into it, they want to be able to resell it later. It is obviously a competitive advantage that Web3 has, and it's not going anywhere. And again, I'll say this, in 5 years, I don't even think there's a mainstream gaming or a Web3 gaming. It's just games, 90% are using player owned assets via the power of blockchain and crypto. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's my take. All right. Uh, I keep derailing into rants, etc. But we both do it. We're excited about stuff.
It's the year of the
Um,
corn.
it's the year of the corn,
What
man.
you do?
So tournaments and marketing. You're excited about tournaments. I'm excited about tournaments. I know marketing's working on some stuff. I don't know their exact plan. I need to revisit with them and calibrate on what they're planning with tournaments right now. But I know that you and I both desire more tournaments,
Hmm.
increased tournaments, bringing in esports leagues. We, as mentioned before, we're talking to one right now, and we're in the works with it. I can't announce a date because there's just a lot that we need to get across the line before we before we can do something like that. But anyway, the goal is we've got great gameplay with 3 racetracks. We've got the rings with arrow trails. You fly around in your jetpack, go through the rings. There's leaderboards for all of that. So we're going to be having more tournaments, and that's going to be a way to win some Kopi as
Yeah,
well.
we
So
we pushed hard for the release of Aero Trails to have leaderboards with it because that wasn't gonna happen, but that kind of came together within a day or two before. So
yep,
yeah, we want to hit the ground running this year with those tournaments. There'll be some holo caches tournaments as well. We've got other gameplay that will have leaderboards. You'll
Yep.
see COPICafe running a lot of those, and he's done a lot of planning of that over Christmas as well. So we have those now. So we're going to push hard on those. Those will have NFT rewards. They'll have COPI rewards. When we talk about questing inside the game, that will have NFT and COPI rewards as well. We want to push everything that we've got now, and this is going to be a huge year for play and earn. Absolutely.
Yep. Play and earn. All right. Let's get into the marketing. Well, it's a big year. Obviously, things get really noisy in a bull cycle year if that's what we're going into. Never know, but I definitely think that's where we're headed. And things will get really noisy with a lot of people screaming that their project that is the best and this is the only one and all sorts of stuff, which is why we do COPICafe every single week. To let you guys know all the gameplay and all the things that we're delivering on, because it is a year of delivery for us as well. It's the year of the corn, a year of delivery. There's a lot coming, but we need to get the word out. And so there's a ton we're working on. One thing is we need to get thousands and thousands of new users in playing the games. The way that we'll probably do that is through marketing with large partnerships. We're talking to several already, but we're going to build out the partnerships program at scale with partnerships that make sense for us to execute on. And it could just be a marketing partnership that gets new users on the game, or it could be more significant than that with a token integration that's involved or something to that effect. And we're talking to a large group that's going to involve more technical difficulty to implement, but these types of things will really help us to grow our user base, game player base. And then when you add on that play and earn type thing with tournaments and different things you can do, questing for COPI, whatever in the game, that creates a very powerful combination where people are getting engaged, they're discovering how fun the game is, and they're getting rewarded for it as well. So that's a huge part of what we have coming with marketing, and obviously paid marketing as well. Really working with our influencers to get the word out. We'll massively be ramping up marketing that scales, and scale is incredibly important. Has to be duplicatable. That way we can reach a large audience with frequency, and therefore you have the two fundamentals of marketing, which is reach and frequency. Those two things are incredibly important. So yeah, a lot to come with marketing, as well as centralized exchanges. That is a major goal of this year. We're working on that with Anake and also Ben, really just building up our centralized exchange kind of ladder to get more awareness of who we are and what we're doing. This has been, I don't know how long we've been going, but it's a while. If we want to do the questions, we need to be quick. So I'll just go ahead and jump into it. First question's for you, Lord of the Corn. With the Nvidia 50 series announcement complete, what are the requirements for GPU game hosting going to look like?
GPU game hosting. Okay, that's game hosting is something different. I don't want to answer that at the moment. That will come in the future if you're talking about pixel streaming or that kind of technology. With the like I say, with the new graphics cards that are coming out, all of those are compatible. We are actually toying with the idea of updating the minimum spec of our VRAM from 6 gigabytes to 8 gigabytes. We think now is probably about the right time, because we want to take massive advantages of AI within the game. So some of our the areas will need that, because AI is obviously thinking on the fly. It needs a little bit of extra memory to do some processing when it comes back. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do update the minimum spec now more cards are out. However, with the advances with DLSS and some of the features that we have for the game, I think that will be okay, but we will still be compatible with older cards. People with less than 6 gigabytes are playing the game at the moment, so less than 8 will be fine. But for a comfortable minimum spec, I think we are very likely to move that up to 8 gigabytes for VRAM.
Yep. Okay. Good question. All right. I think the next one was for me. Are you asking it?
Is this the one about the
SPO? It's right there in the chat.
Yes. So from Braz from the Knights, how much COPI is left to distributed? How much COPI is left to be distributed within the COPIC COPIC SPO? I recall it's being run for a year or until all the COPI is distributed. Any stats, forecasted end dates, and all that good stuff.
All right. Yeah. So I'm just going to steal the answer from Ben that he replied to us with this. So we have 5.236 million COPI distributed so far out of the 15 million allocated. So 9.6 million COPI remaining. And at the current pace, we should run all the way to the end of 1 year and would be about 12 million distributed. But obviously that can change quickly at current asset prices. So yeah, that's a bit how that's working. We're just going to keep that going for now. So yeah, if you have not or are not participating in that, you can sacrifice some ADA staking rewards to buy basically COPI with those ADA rewards. And you don't put any of your funds at risk in doing that. You're just saying, I'm willing to forego my ADA rewards and receive instead COPI at a 125% bonus based upon the trailing 7-day average price of the COPI ADA pair. So pretty cool. And yeah, that's still going. The pool name is COPIC. And if you want more details to make sure that you're finding the exact pool, just go to our Discord and find it there. So great question. And I think that brings us to our leak. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and get that video.
Yeah, so our leak this week is interesting. It's a little bit of gameplay. It's an area that we are surprised that nobody has discovered yet. The area itself. Let's just lay this down because I know people will probably go and have a look and then try and share the footage. There is some early issues with that. Being a pre-alpha, some of the characters go a little bit funny in a certain area.
In one area, yeah. Where the quantum.
So try not to share that if you can, or minimize just because it looks a little bit bad. That is obviously going to be fixed in the later release.
But the area is a lot of fun, so here we go.
Yes.
And yeah, we're surprised you guys didn't discover it, but it is a sneaky little area. And a little harder to find, but it's going to be a lot of fun for you because there's a lot that you can grab. So here we go. All right. Welcome to another leak for COPICafe number 116. Rob, are you ready to go?
I am indeed.
All right. Let's do this. I'm going to head up. We are inside Toledo Resort, and there's some stuff that you guys have not yet discovered that we want to share with you that is a little harder to find, so we get it, but there's some treasures that have been available to you guys, our community, that are inside playing the game, and they have not yet been discovered, at least not to our knowledge. I'm going to the top of that building that's on across from Neo Tokyo.
Okay.
See me?
I can see now. Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to the Neo Tokyo community there. Building. Okay, so from this building is how I know how to find where we're headed. So if you look a little bit to your left, you see that tower right there? That's where we're headed. So I'm gonna go ahead and launch and get us over there.
In the golden hour.
Yeah, beautiful sunrise or sunset. Still with me?
Yep. Well,
all right.
I'm a little bit. I'm on the radio tower.
Okay, gotcha.
I think I can hear you sneaking up there.
So now we're going over here. See these lights? I think this is where it is. So these lights, these red lights, and there's a little fence here. I mean, it's not a surprise that nobody discovered this. We're gonna go over the fence with our jetpack. Oh boy.
Red light. Green light.
Yep. And now
Red light.
you can see, if you go down these stairs, you can see a little interrogation room. You can see there's a little interrogation area. There's some, there's a boot and a gun on the chair and a chest. Oh, looks like I can engage this chest here. And I can get some burritos and some game credits. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those.
You pick the gun up.
I don't think so. But I
Some
can get a
nice-
burrito and some credits. So I'm going to do that. I got the credits. But there's another chest there for you if you want to open it up.
Oh, loads of chests.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some nice outfits.
There's I mean, if I were you, I would just start grabbing stuff before I get it.
I just want the credits.
You what?
I just want to grab some credits. There don't seem to be any. I seem to get a lot of pink outfits. Oh, there's one.
Pull back. I mean, there's only so much you can get as well. So.
Ooh, I've not seen some of these outfits before. Some of those shoes. Oh, these are cool.
Yeah, I just found a wood plank, a giant wood plank.
What
Takes
the-
up like a quarter of your inventory, so I'm not going to grab it.
Where are they putting that down? Oh, there's another area. We can go lower.
You can go lower?
Hmm.
I didn't realize you can go lower. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember this part. Yeah,
It
you
is
are.
a gangster's paradise. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we might be foreshadowing something that's coming in the future.
Absolutely. I love it. Lots of fun. All right. Well, let's give another quick view of the way we got here. Head to the top of the building, and then we'll say goodbye for this leak of COPICafe 116.
Yeah, very good. All
you
right,
got it.
I'm off.
You're off? All right.
I'm gonna go get some. I'm gonna get some arrow trails.
Sounds good, man. Go hit them. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was a fun leak. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Get in there and find it yourselves and have fun doing so. Suit yourselves up. Grab some game credits. Grab some shoes. Grab some boots, whatever it may be. This has been a great episode. First episode of the year 2025, the year of the corn. Thank you for watching episode 116, and we'll see you all next week.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I'm in a game all day.